Take it away.
Hey everyone, welcome to our Monday morning brain sesh. 10:30 is with Balance Health and Wellness, and I am the guest speaker today. My name is Danielle. I'm a doctor of physical therapy as well as certified yoga instructor, and we're here to discuss in more detail the breath. And what I love about both of these disciplines is they understand the importance of breathing and what it can bring to our mind and body. Really, the breath is pretty much the highway to connect back inward to ourselves and connect to our mind and body. For the reason being, it's the quickest tool that we can refer to shift our mind to bring either calmness or a more relaxed state, or you can shift your energy and shift your mood depending on the technique that you go to. So I'm here to provide you 4 techniques to either help you bring a little bit more relaxation to yourself or to bring some energy and some shift your mood to get you into a mindset of ready to be more productive. But before we do that, I think it's important to give you a little insight as to the anatomy of breathing, because it'll help you understand why it benefits so many different areas of our body. So the diaphragm is our primary muscle used in inspiration and expiration. It's located just below our lungs and heart, just right under our rib cage, and it actually is a dome shape. Its resting position is like this. So when we inhale, it actually expands down like a balloon and kind of domes the opposite way. And then on the exhale, it's a relaxation and it comes back up into the dome. And you'll understand why that's important to visualize now, later when I'm teaching you the breathing techniques. But the cool thing about the diaphragm, it also attaches to our lumbar vertebrae, our psoas, which is important for our low back pain patients, and also connecting the emotional ties to low back pain, as well as it connects superiorly to our lung and heart, as well as below it dives into the fascial layers that connect to our digestion. So when I run through the benefits of how breathing, what we can gain from breathing, it'll give you a better scope as to how our breath can control so many different areas of our body. So the benefits of breathing and controlling our breath is to reduce your anxiety. It can reduce your depression, but also carries over to inflammation as well as muscle tension. Working on your breath improves your posture because you're engaging your core more properly, as well as it allows our body to transition into that rest and digest state, which is important for digestion and elimination, as well as the onset of autoimmune disorders is reduced. So also, breathing properly during movement is essential because we have to be able to replenish the oxygen back to our muscles and brain. So even being mindful with movement and breath is highly important, and we'll cover that briefly at the end. So we're going to start getting into the breathing techniques. I want you guys to kind of just take in this information, because at the end of the session, I'm going to provide you 2 handouts. One being covers all the techniques, as well as the breath ratio and position and how to perform it. So you'll be provided that handout, as well as the second handout goes through breathing techniques in different positions, because we're not always in the same position all day. We have to move. So I'm covering the kind of the technique version and then position version in 2 different handouts. So you guys will get that all at the end. So before you come to these techniques, I want you to ask yourself one question, and that is, what is your intention for finding your breath right now? And it may be different depending on the time of day. So some people might be coming to start their day just to bring some calm and kind of a relaxed state to kind of set the tone. Some people are coming to find their breath in order to wake up. So say it's like in the afternoon, you're getting the 3 o'clock kind of sleepies. This is also something you can refer to kind of boost your energy or shift your mindset. Say someone really pissed you off and you just need to go step away and take a minute. This is also for you too. So first question, why are you coming to this breath? And then depending on the answer, whether it's to calm yourself or shift your mood, I'm going to give you 2 techniques for each. So the first 2 techniques are actually for beginners, and I actually encourage you to practice them first before you go on to the second 2, because it requires a little bit more body awareness and ability to kind of control your muscles. So the first one is called a full complete breath, or what we call as therapists diaphragmatic breathing. So this one is to just bring you some body awareness and calmness. The position for this technique, you can perform either seated or laying down. And if you want to join me as I go over this, we're going to bring one hand to your belly, so your abdomen kind of just grazing your navel, and then the other to your chest, okay? And as we're doing this, the goal is to imagine that diaphragm that we're talking about, that dome shape. As you're inhaling, imagining your torso expanding like a balloon, trying to fill your belly first. The goal is to breathe from your abdomen and belly first, and then second, then your chest. So as you inhale, you want to expand and feel your belly rise first, and then your chest for a count of 4. And then you're gonna pause and just retain the breath, and then exhale, just kind of relaxing and letting everything go for a count of 4, okay? So I'm gonna give you guys a few seconds to kind of just bring that awareness into yourself, and I'm gonna let you count at your own time. Again, the breath ratio is an inhale for 4 seconds, rising from your belly and then your chest, pause for 4, and then exhale, allowing everything to relax. And as you release the exhale, you should actually feel your abdomen and kind of pelvic floor come inward. So that you kind of, on the exhale, you're feeling a slight abdominal contraction as you relax. And that's actually considered proper sequencing, but what happens as we age and get older, these breathing patterns get altered, and we start compensating with what we call accessory muscles. So people start breathing with their chest muscles and their neck. So bringing mindfulness to how we're breathing is why this exercise is so important to start with, because you need to retrain your body how to properly breathe. So again, the emphasis is inhaling through the belly first, and then the chest for a count of 4, pausing, and then exhaling, just allowing everything to relax and feeling your kind of navel come back into your spine, okay? These breath ratios are just a recommendation. For anyone that has a cardiac issue, they should be consulting their doctor before holding their breath, as well as pregnancy. You can alter these ratios to meet your kind of own medical background. So always consult if you have any of those things. Okay, so that was our first breathing technique, diaphragmatic breathing, or a full complete breath. The second technique is called 3-part breath. So this is kind of expanding on this first technique. And what we're doing here is starting in the same position, hand on belly, one on chest. But as we're inhaling, we're adding a 3rd part to the inhalation process, trying to engage more rib expansion. So the sequence of this one, we're taking a different breath ratio with this technique. So you're gonna start with your hands, one on your belly, one on your chest. As you inhale, you're gonna breathe into your belly first and pause for a second. Then I want you to take one hand and bring it to your rib cage, and then inhale again and try and feel the expansion in your rib cage outward into your hand. And then the 3rd phase is back to your chest and expanding from your chest. I'm sure you guys are all thinking like, whoa, how does she have all this breath to do it? Well, you have to do it without talking. But try and time it or create a breath ratio that is doable for you. So my recommended breath ratio is to inhale for 2 seconds on each part. So inhale 2 for belly, inhale 2 for rib, and then inhale 2 for chest. And you're gonna hold for just a pause, and then you're gonna exhale for a count of 8. So just exhaling all out for a count of 8 seconds. Okay?
That feels so good.
Yeah. So please feel free to interrupt me with any questions, or like, I'm feeling this, is this right? Like, I'm feeling tension in my neck, is this right? Like, feel free to type in the chat, or raise your hand. Does anyone know how to raise their hand on the chat? And
I don't know if I have that feature, but
it's on, I see it in the chat here, at least in my window.
Okay.
Like, I just raised my hand.
Oh,
You see
great,
that?
Perfect. Yeah, because I can see it on my end. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so lower hand. So if you see any raised hands, Melissa, can you just like stop me?
I'll call them out. Yeah, awesome.
Okay.
I feel good like automatically when I start focusing on my breath like that.
It's the easiest way to center yourself, like center your thoughts, center your body. It's the quickest essential tool that we have in our toolbox to go to in any moment. You don't need anything else but you, which I think is amazing. It's so powerful.
And you know what's super, like, if you think about it too, we all can do this. Breath comes natural to us. You don't have to have like you don't have to be a pro at this. Like, you can just start now.
Right. And the cues that I'm giving you to kind of feel your body and create more awareness, this is for some a lot to take in. I've worked with patients for sessions upon sessions on just how to teach them how to breathe. That's how complex it is for some people, just because we get into our bodies adapt into different ways of breathing because of what's gone on with us. So don't feel frustrated if this is all like overwhelming. We're just take it in as you can, and then we have all the information to provide you at the end.
So Danielle, actually, whenever I breathe in just naturally, I'm just chest breathing because my stomach's going in. Mm-hmm. My stomach should be going out when I breathe in.
So that is so powerful that you recognize that even within the short 10 minutes that we're breathing, your breathing pattern is altered. And you found that, yes, most of us tend to adapt to chest breathing, which actually incorporates more of our pec muscles and neck muscles. So that creates altered posture because we start adapting to that tension, as well as my chronic stress people who have a lot of tension in their neck and shoulders. That's because their breathing patterns have been altered too. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's totally me.
Yep.
So I'm neck and I'm like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've never.
It all goes back to the breath, and also breathing or introducing mindful breath helps us to get out of that survival state of panic where we start taking shorter inspirations as a natural reaction. So if anything, we use our breath to hack our nervous system. We use it to get control over our mind and body. And anyways, I get really passionate about that. Okay, so I got 2 more breathing techniques. These are a little bit more advanced. So again, don't get frustrated with them, but just take it in as you can. The third one is called alternate nostril breathing. This is designed to create balance, bring you balance to both sides of our brain because we're alternating breathing through each nostril. But I highly recommend before you do this to blow your nose, or else you might be snotting on yourself a little bit. So if you haven't done so yet, I would get a tissue. This exercise is typically done to give you more energy and mental alertness. What you're gonna do is start with your right hand. We're gonna block our left nostril, okay? And you're gonna inhale, you're gonna inhale through your right nostril. You're gonna block both and hold, and then unblock the left side, exhale through the left while blocking the right. Good. Now keep the right side blocked, inhale through the left, block both, And then exhale through the right, blocking the left. Now, the breath ratio I recommend is an inhale 4, a hold for 2 seconds, and then exhale for 4. So it's a 4-2-4 ratio. And you're just alternating breathing through each side of your nostril. Now, why this is powerful is each nostril actually targets opposite side of our brain. So in some cases, when we're breathing, we're not properly breathing through both nostrils. One is usually more dominant than the other. So this creates balance to get oxygen to both sides of our brain to, again, create more mental clarity, productive thoughts, all that great stuff. So that is alternate nostril breathing. Takes some practice, but you can repeat that cycle pattern for 5 to 8 cycles at recommendation. Again, tailor this to what is comfortable for you. Okay, the last one is called Breath of Fire. And this one's it feels weird, and it requires a lot of core control. So again, this is a more advanced technique, but it is great for energizing, shifting your mood, and just getting you out of a funk, okay? So this one, again, is performed seated. What you're gonna do is start by taking a deep inhale, and then exhale completely out through your mouth. And then inhale halfway. And then on the exhale phase, you're gonna pump your navel into your spine using your abdomen, creating a kind of active and passive inhale, exhale. What it's gonna sound like is this. It's gonna sound a little weird, but I'm gonna demonstrate. So I'm gonna inhale halfway. And then on the exhale, you're going to So the goal is to end on an exhale. So you're ending on an exhale out through your nose, okay? So the sequence is inhale completely, exhale all the way. Inhale halfway, and pump it out. Now, everyone's exhale phase is gonna be different, so there's no ratio, but you just go and basically until you have nothing else to push, no air to push out of your mouth. This technique is recommended to be done for about 3 to 5 minutes total. And again, it's just used to bring heat. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a little hot now just after doing all of those last 2 exercises. Any questions?
Have you ever heard of the Wim Hof method?
No, tell me more.
It's the same idea as the fire breathing, where you take a deep breath in. It's the same idea.
What? Okay, thanks. I'm watching this community thing.
Make sure you guys are muted. Yeah, make sure you guys are muted because we can hear you. But yeah, no, there's just this other method. It's the same idea, the Wim Hof, but it's to re-energize. I just didn't know if anyone else had heard it or tried it. I've done it a couple of times.
Awesome.
But
so
it's powerful.
This is just the tip of techniques out there. There's so many different types of breathing techniques, and you can even change it up for yourself depending on the ratio. Just taking a simple exhale or inhale for 8 seconds, exhale for twice that. Usually people try and influence having a 1 to 2 ratio between inhale and exhale. So if your inhale is like 4 seconds, you try and double the exhale. And that's a common, simple way to just start breathing. But that's the 4 techniques I had in mind for you guys to bring some either mental clarity, reduce stress, or get fired up. And
Danielle, were you breathing the fire out of your nose or your mouth at the end?
Your nose, yeah. So the pattern is inhale deeply, exhale completely through your mouth, and then inhale halfway. And when you're pumping, it is out your nose. So you're gonna have to close your mouth. Again, it's a lot to control, breathing through your nose and then kind of using your abdomen to create that pump, active passive pump. It takes practice, but you'll get there.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Also, so just adding breath to movement, any of my yogis out there, your breath ratio during yoga is recommended to be basically your inhale and exhales are equal parts, and it's encouraged that you're breathing in and out through your nose, which is also called ujjayi breath. And then there's also just adding breath to movement or a repetitive movement, in which is considered a moving meditation. For example, if you are a runner, you're focusing on inhale, exhale of breath while allowing to not any other thoughts come kind of pass through. So whatever is going in your head, you kind of just let it pass through and then go out the other ear. So that is considered a moving meditation. And that's just a quick kind of description of how to do that. There's so many different examples too. If you're interested in learning more about these different breath techniques or moving breath, feel free to reach out to me and I will be providing all kinds of information that you'd like to know.
Yes, thanks so much, Danielle. I mean, we got about like 9 minutes, so I don't know if you guys had any specific questions on breath or anything that you've done that is supportive for you. But I know that you're providing, and I believe that you were briefly talking about it, Danielle. But we do have like a visual graphic for you guys that I'll email. So all the people that signed up will get this from you. So that was really generous.
Yeah, of course. Anything. I'm definitely a visual learner, so I like to tailor to all my different learning styles. So you have your visual coming in. I also have visual, a handout of visuals for breath work in different positions. So you'll have that. And then also, because we're feeling generous today, we're providing you a handout on how to create a meditative environment for yourself. So how to start introducing meditation into your practice, which breath work a lot of the time is the precursor into getting into a meditative state. So if you are looking to get into more meditative type or learning more about meditation, it's good for you to work on your breath now, because breath is highly important to reach more of those meditative type mental states. So thank you for having me today, Melissa.
Thank you, Danielle. That was great.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. And I didn't even introduce myself like when we started, but I figured the people who joined live, like you guys already know me, you know what I'm all about. So I figured we're like, let's just go. And that actually worked pretty well, because we got through the topic in a half an hour. I love it. In and out. Thanks everyone for your feedback on just like from the first time we did it. And I think I like the idea of having a specific topic each week. And then if it's interesting to you, you can come and join. And it's just a great way for us to continue to connect. And yeah, so.
Share. I said connect and share.
Yeah, absolutely. And just get people to know one another, for sure. And what is this, week 3 now? Week 3. How are you guys feeling week 3? Are you still feeling like, or have you gotten to a place now where you're kind of like, okay, this is how it is. I'm kind of in a groove.
Week 1 was all stressful. Week 2, it was a roller coaster of good and bad. So we'll see what week 3 brings. Hopefully less stress and more smooth, but yeah, it's been a roller coaster.
Yeah. That's how I feel too.
You're not alone, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of where we were. Like week 1 was like, okay, like we'll see what happens. Week 2 was like emotional roller coaster. I feel like up and down, trying to figure out things for school, non-school, like work, all kinds of different situations. My mental stability was all up and down. And this week, hoping for a good week, hoping for it to be great. So I'm going into it with that right mindset.
You're off to a good start then, Melissa. That's great.
Yeah.
What about you, Dave?
I am in a very unique situation. I left Delaware and came down to the Outer Banks. So I have been here, and 2 days after I got here, they shut down the Outer Banks, North Carolina, to everybody. I feel very safe. I'm glad I came down here. They've had one incident of the virus in this whole county, and now it's all cut off. So I feel safe, and I am right next to the ocean, and it's been I am retired.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked 2 days a week starting the week before the virus kind of hit everybody, and Delaware started slowing down
Mm-hmm.
and asking people to stay home. So the timing was perfect for me to come down here, and I did bring some work with me from school, so I have a little work to do. And I guess down here it's very easy to find things to do. There's a lot of bike riding, walking the beach. So I feel like I'm in a unique situation, and I'm feeling very, I'm
Mm-hmm.
grateful to be down here. So I'm very happy that I'm down here, and
That's great.
hasn't been really bad for me.
And what's your address? No, just kidding.
So, anyway, I feel very fortunate to be down here and not experiencing some of the stress and anxiety that friends of mine have felt, up in Delaware, being quarantined and so forth. And
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I think the best thing we can do is just keep connecting, just figuring out different ways to connect with people, just checking on people, and just keep involving ourselves in things that are going to keep us moving forward, and sharing our stories, and yeah, just keeping things focusing on like action. That's really like my thing right now, is I'm just like focusing on action and the next steps I can take, and just taking things day by day, and just keep being in a community type thing. And like this morning I got up and I taught a live stream bar class. That was super cool and fun. And then now doing this, and yeah, and then just different things to just like keep myself busy and going. But I haven't really been out that much. I mean, I went to the studio and taught the class, and then came right back home. And if we have to go to the store, we just go to the store and come right back. So we've really been, staying home, and just connecting with people like through apps like this or on the phone. And we're doing okay. I'm trying not to think too much about I mean, Bill's still able to work, so he's still working. And yeah, that's where we're at. We're just taking things day by day.
That's all we can do, one week at a time.
Yeah, and just like really just my mental and emotional well-being is just like at the forefront right now for me. Just making sure that I'm doing breathing or exercising. I feel like the breathing's been helping me just stay like in a more positive mindset. I'm doing a lot of like journaling activities. I'm been very creative. All things just to keep my mind moving and not allowing my mind to get stuck in like a worry pattern. So those are all things that have been helpful. So yeah, sometimes it's hard. Like I'll get sucked in if I do go on social media. Like I'll read posts and stuff, and because I know it's such a good outlet for people to express themselves, and sometimes I can find myself reading stuff and then I start getting like a little worried about different things. So I'm just trying to keep putting things out there that can help people shift, because it's just interesting. So thanks guys so much again for coming on live. And then like before, we'll send out the replay. Danielle has a ton of infographics that goes along with today that you guys will be getting. If you have any further questions for her regarding her platform, feel free to reach out to her. She's on the spreadsheet that everyone has access to with all of her info. So you can reach out to her that way. Oh, she just put her email in the chat. So make sure if you want that, you can copy and paste it or just write it down really quickly. And then do you guys have anything before we go? I know it's 11. Do you guys have any topics like right off the top of your head right now that you'd like to see in the next coming weeks? I know nutrition was a big one for some people. They were really like struggling with some emotional eating right now. So happy to support with some recipes or just some ways to nourish yourself during this time so that you're not constantly choosing unhealthy choices. Any other suggestions? No, nothing top of your head? Okay. All right. Well, you're welcome. Enjoy the rest of your day. What a great start to the week. Let us know if you start using your breathing techniques. The 4-count breath is usually my go-to. That's like the easiest one. That's the one I always remember. I love that one. So thanks, guys. Take care. We'll send the recording and we're here for you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Danielle.
Bye.
Okay.
Have a great week.
You too.